You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
To play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Indeed. Whoa, look at me. Hang on. Let me take a Viagra. Works every time. We love those blue pills. Good evening. It is sloppy second, so I'm not quite as up for it as I was earlier. But good evening, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good night, goodbye. Hello, welcome along to the Championship Review Show, and welcome along to any Cherries fans. How the devil are you? It's been a while. Well, it's been a couple of weeks because we stuffed you in the FA Cup. But hello anyway. How are you doing? Sorry. Look, I love Bournemouth. I live just outside Bournemouth. It's like a home game when I went to that one, I'll tell you. So I'm no doubt I might mention that once or twice during the evening. But welcome along. It is the Championship Roundup Show. Number 3 in a series of 3 because of my guest. I guess this could very well be the last one we ever do. But let's bring him in from up the Cherries and All department, and his link is in the description below. Hello, young man. How are you?
I'm very well, Chris. Very, very well, mate. As always. Do you know what? I absolutely love coming on this show. And
You do?
I was going to start singing.
And you
I was
know
going to
what?
start singing Bournemouth till I die. Da, 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 Cherries. I'll tell you what, I've got a voice of an angel, haven't I? Simon
you should
Cowell.
be dead.
Simon Cowell. No, actually, Louis Walsh. He's wasting time in that Big Brother. I don't fucking watch that.
I talk about it every morning on the radio show, but I've absolutely no idea what's going on because I haven't watched any of them.
You don't know what you're talking about,
you.
but you talk about it.
I do. Well, I just read it out of the papers, to be honest with you. But welcome along, sir. It's nice to be back. I love doing a show with you. The idea is that we're going to look through all the championship games, but obviously reality will probably be completely different to that. You know what we're like. And of course, if anybody wants to know that this is Craig, but is also known now with his new nickname of Mr. Penis Head.
Mr. Penis Head.
Blame your wife. Blame your wife, who I can just say, I hope she got home all right the other night.
Oh, that was so funny. So just to give you some background on this story, me and Chris went on the piss.
We went out for a couple of beverages.
A couple of beverages, yeah. You know, when you get to our stage in life, you know, going out on the piss isn't a dumb thing.
Although, having said that, when you get to my time of life, piss is probably what I was doing all night. My bladder's not what it used to be.
And the reason why we don't go out on the piss is because we didn't want to end up like Mavis, who was on the table right next to us, who was... what's the best way to...
Language was quite choice. Well, that whole table was, in fairness.
Yes. And believe it or not, didn't she take a swipe at one of the Weatherspoon staff?
The manager, I believe it was, yes.
The manager, there we are. And then it took, and unbeknown to me and Chris, 3 big police officers come in to come and speak to Mavis, didn't they?
Yes.
And Mavis got put in her handcuffs. Didn't seem to be the first time Mavis had been put
Was she
in handcuffs.
handcuffed? Because
She
I'd gone up to
was.
the toilet at that point.
Yeah, you dad was needing to go for a piss. You wasn't pissed, but needed to go for a piss. And then
Yes.
she was handcuffed, and all three of them would I tell you what, she was swirling around like nobody's business, trying to escape. And honestly, it was. She put up a good fight of it, to be honest, Chris. She put up a very, very good fight. But
Well,
this is why, yeah.
all
And
I will say is, next time we do it, can you please not bring your wife along?
I'll promise Mavis will not be coming.
No.
Mavis is actually barred, I think, from that Weatherspoons. So yeah,
Yeah.
Mavis will not be attending.
I thought, my God, mate, that
Oh,
I can see who's the boss in your house. But anyway, welcome along. Oh, look, up there. Let me get this right. Up the cherries in all departments.
yes.
I'll get that bit right. Tell everybody where they can find you and what you do. Which is
So
not very much, to be honest with you, but tell them anyway.
so the channel is called Up the Cherries in All Departments. You can find us by going to UTC IAD AFCB on your chosen platform, be that Instagram, Twitter. Nobody likes Twitter, but we're on there anyway. Facebook, even, believe it or not, and
Mhm.
also YouTube, where you should go and subscribe to us. Got lots of content, lots of interviews. Once interviewed Brian Cox, believe it or not. I haven't been talking about that for the past 3 years, but did interview him.
Well,
Um,
you don't get a word in because you're always talking about Harry Redknapp.
I know Harry Redknapp's been on 6 times, so
Yes.
yeah, me and Harry are on very good.
Willingly once.
Yeah.
And tell us all about this because I've just posted a link there.
Yes. So, as everybody will know, we played Luton Town on the 16th of December 2023. The scores were 1-1. And then we had, a moment that I think will live with me, live with everyone there that day, where Tom Lockyer collapsed and had, it was a serious situation. Um, so yeah, it's one, yeah, it's one that please do donate to this, because I spoke to Mark Crowther earlier on today. The preview for the game will be going up tomorrow. I'm struggling to get my words out because it's quite emotional, thinking back to that day. But he is cycling from Luton to Bournemouth for the British Heart Foundation. So anybody who is able to afford it, I know it's tough times at the moment. Please do.
Yeah, get over there. Well, the link's there. I've just put a message in the private chat as well, mate.
Oh, right, okay,
Um,
yes,
Now, of course, because we are such, well-known people within the South Coast area. Oh, there's
yes.
just a goal gone in. Chelsea have just gone up 2-1 up against Newcastle.
Mhm.
That we had to do some publicity shots for this particular show. So let me. This is the one that we've gone for here. That after a lot of decision.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, you haven't got the round glasses on though, have you?
No. I mean, when you do face swap pictures, you have to kind of go with a lot of what is already being
I'm
worn,
very
etc.
impressed though, mate.
Yes,
I like that. I
yes.
do really like that. So
I'll, I'll
yeah.
I'll I'll let you know the link later, mate. But right. So let's get into this, shall we? Did you get my message, mate?
Yes, I can't seem to see it, but
It's on your Twitter, I think.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. I'm guessing that there's somebody being a bit of a idiot. Are we
Yes.
right in thinking that?
So,
Always one, isn't there?
well, there's usually more than one, to be honest with you. Like
Yeah.
I say, I don't stream to Twitter, so that is on your Twitter.
Yes.
But the reason we were late in this evening, because I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning doing all the graphics for this show, and I don't know the difference between Cardiff and Sheffield Wednesday until Craig pointed it out for me. Nate is in. Hi, Nate. How are you doing? Welcome along, sir. Now, the first game was on the Friday night, and I've got to say, look, there's a lot of banter going on between Leicester and Leeds, and we do live in a Leeds fans' heads a lot of the time. But fair play to them. And I've said this: had they had the better start to the season than they did have, they would probably be above us, for quite a while. But they could only get a draw, obviously, with Huddersfield in the last derby. But it is a derby. But they managed to do what they had to do against Sheffield United, which was a potential banana skin for them.
Yeah. Do you know what? Sheffield Wednesday have been playing a lot better recently, and unfortunately, I still can't find that comment.
No.
Who cares about it? Who cares about it? Some Sado, hello, whoever you are. Thank you for watching. You must have a very boring evening to watch me if you don't like me. But but yeah, Sheffield Wednesday coming back to have improved significantly. They're playing some good stuff actually. It looks like they might get out of trouble. Looks like they might get out of trouble. Leeds, unfortunately, hello Leeds fans, they're all here as well, have found form at just the right time, haven't they? And this, apart from their draw against Huddersfield, have been in quite good form. So yeah, unfortunately, the Owls fell apart in this one. But did I expect Leeds to win this? I think I probably did. Local derby. They're trying to keep the pressure up on yourselves. I still think you'll win it. Let's be honest. If they want to actually win the league, they're going to have to really win every single game because I think you've already got a 3-point head start over them. But I think you will. You'll
They
win
have
at least
reined us
6.
in, and they had their bad start at the start of the season when they couldn't sort themselves out. The rest at the start of the season, they were a club in turmoil. And I've been saying a lot of the time, when is our bad patch going to appear? Because we haven't had one. Yes, we have now, and hopefully, whether we are out of it or not, who knows? Who knows? So Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, they are back down to 23rd, but they're on 38 points, as are Huddersfield, who are in 22nd, Birmingham 39, QPR 39, Stoke 41. They've got a chance of staying up now, which they didn't have a while ago.
I completely agree. And I think, Huddersfield seem to be in free fall. They're the side that I think will really go down, even though I've seen quite a few predictions today, and they're the side that people think is going to stay up. I think Birmingham are in free fall. I don't know why they got rid of, and I'm going to say this now, I don't know why they got rid of John Eustace.
I was going to say why they got rid of Rooney then, but no. I can't, mate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop it and send it to you. It won't allow me to copy and paste without me. Well, it just won't allow me to copy and paste, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna save that as a picture and send it to you.
Yeah, that's all right.
And but Leeds, I've got to say, in fairness, they We don't play next weekend because we're in the FA Cup final. Sorry to mention that again. Because we beat Bournemouth in the last round. Yay!
Yes, yes, you
Yeah.
did.
So look, that was then. It was a game, and that's why we love the FA Cup, you know. But Leeds, if they beat Millwall, and let's be honest with you, I haven't done my predictions for next week yet, and I will be predicting a Leeds win there because I think Leeds will beat Millwall. Plus, we all, I mean, you know, whichever team you hate, we all hate Millwall, you know.
Yeah.
So that will put Leeds above us. Yes, they will have played one more game, but psychologically, being above, and then now we're the team that's then got to catch up because then we've got to win that game in hand.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is against Southampton. Woo. You know, and as suddenly we don't get the win there, Leeds, it's just going to give them that psychological boost, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you'll still be okay though. I think you'll still be okay. You know, when you look at the
It
goal
wasn't a
difference.
surprise to me. This I did actually go. Originally, I went 2-1 to Leeds, but then I changed at the last minute and changed my mind and went 2-2. So I actually didn't get that one right.
The one thing that's worrying me actually, just looking at this from the Leicester perspective, is in the last 5, you know, only 4 points, where Leeds have got 13. That's a big concern. And Ipswich, you know, in third, have got 12. Don't get me wrong, I think you'll still be okay. But of course, there is that bit of a risk if that form continues.
Yeah.
You know, falling.
Well, indeed. I mean, Leeds are top of the form table. Haven't lost in 5, and just say hi to Brad. How are you doing? How I hope you are well. Ipswich are in second. We're in 17th, so we'll quickly gloss over that. And we go to the normality channel with Riley Taylor. Riley, hello. I don't know how normal you're going to explain this. Probably not very normal.
No, this isn't going to be normal at all, to be honest.
No,
Chris,
no.
Let's be honest.
You've just come onto a channel with the 2 most non-normal presenters on YouTube. But no, look, fair play to Leeds. Look, I know I am. What I said about 5 weeks ago was whoever finishes above Leeds will go up. You know, and that I think they've got a good manager, a manager that knows how to get teams out of this division. I hope he's backed because he can also bring teams down, of course, but we will see. Normality says, right, the championship may be going off for internationals. However, the women's teams will keep you entertained. Indeed, totally. Leicester City women through to the semi-finals at their FA Cup equivalent. So there we go. Well done to the women. And let's be honest with you, certainly at international level, and you've got an international flag there on your for your picture there, normality. Yeah, the women, let's be honest with you, better than the bloody men. So fair play to them. Early kickoff on, and now hang on, what's gone wrong here? Right, we'll leave the early kickoff. I didn't add it back in. Ipswich were hosting or away to Cardiff. It was all good. I knew this wouldn't go well. Away to Cardiff. And let me just do this. And Cardiff, Ipswich, didn't they? They got a last minute, 2 last minute goals.
Do you know what? Cardiff are a funny side. They're a funny side. And to be honest, they're an outside bet to actually, in fact, they are now second in the form table, just behind Leeds. They've actually got 13 points from the last 5 games. And they're a funny side. They're picking up results at just the right time. Maybe they could make a late push for the playoffs. They're a side that I wouldn't fancy playing at the moment with the form they're in, but I think Ipswich. I think they'd probably be a bit disappointed, last minute of the game, to concede that. And Ipswich have looked very, very good. Ipswich have looked very good. I wonder if they're just running out of steam at this point in time because of, of course, it's a 46 game season. It's always going to be very, very difficult, for a side that's newly promoted. But um, yeah, I think,
they will be kicking themselves
mm,
because we could only draw. So that they will be annoyed. Ipswich, I put a clip up of me doing a watch along a few weeks ago, and I clip it and put it up onto TikTok, which is the little, I can't put my finger over it, but right in the corner there, the black one, the black QR code. Follow us on TikTok. We put all our mistakes and silly
mhm.
bits up. And I actually put a thing on it. For fuck's sake, Ipswich, what you just, because they just equalised. Well, you piss off and die. I'm fed up with you keep coming back. Because when they lose, and fair play to them. I mean, I'm doing it
Yeah.
in banter, but it's just annoying that, they are the Black Knight of the division. Oh, chop the leg off. Oh, it is but a scratch.
Do you know
That's
what,
nothing
though,
with the
Chris?
game.
I'm going to turn around and say something now about Ipswich. I really hope Ipswich do go up in second to yourselves.
Okay.
Um, and I think they will. And the reason being is, yeah, it was disappointing on Saturday morning. But you look at the rest of their games. Next game up, they got Sheffield Wednesday at home. You'd
Yeah.
imagine them winning that. Blackburn away. Again, Blackburn not particularly. I don't think Blackburn are that great a side. They could easily get pulled into that. Southampton at home, difficult, but then again, you would rather that game at home than anywhere. Um, then they've got their derby against Norwich, and then they've got a run against Watford, Middlesbrough, Coventry, Hull. They've got some games with sides that Coventry and Hull might have secured a playoff place at that
Yeah.
point when they play them. Middlesbrough and Watford are probably going to be safe. They're probably not going to be doing much. Well, to be honest, they're not really doing much all season, to be fair, Watford, apart from changing managers. So,
Which they did,
personally,
obviously. Didn't want to disappoint us all, so they did that
oh
anyway.
yes, yeah, we thought that their owners had lost their bollocks, to be perfectly honest, because I was quite surprised that they hadn't sacked anybody so far this season.
Yeah.
But um, I think Ipswich has still got a great chance. Got Huddersfield Town on the last game of the season,
Yeah.
and to be
And
honest,
Leeds have got Southampton on the last day. I mean,
yeah,
I'm torn because I want us to go up, obviously. I think Leeds will go up. I'd like to see Ipswich
no,
go up
they won't.
because I
Leeds
I
will go
like
up.
Ipswich. I do like Ipswich, and
Yeah,
I think that'd be a great story getting two
Ipswich will go
promotions.
up, Chris. Come
You
on,
know.
the Leeds are shit. Let's be
Well, no,
honest. They're just
well,
going to go to shit.
these views are not the views of Leicester till I die, but the views of up the Clarets in all departments.
Yeah,
Clarets,
we on up the Claris.
Cherries in all
Yeah, go
departments.
search for that,
But
Leeds
I
fans.
want, and you're going to hate me here, but I want Southampton to come up because it's a local game I can go to. I know
Wow.
you don't like Southampton for obvious reasons,
No,
but
to be honest, I miss them. What's funny is I do miss them. It's one of
mm,
those where you don't want your local. You want them in the same league. Mainly A, because you can get 6 points off them. But secondly, because without that little bit of a rivalry being there, you
mm,
know, it's like who else? Brighton. That's not
yeah,
really a rivalry. The Leeds thing. It's a side who, despite what happened all those years ago, and it was awful what happened all those years ago, where they smashed up the town. Um, you know, do they really give a toss about us? No, not really.
no, no.
So, you know, it's nice to have Southampton back, and it
Mm,
probably even though, yeah, I don't really want him to be a Premier League player again, but it would also be quite nice to just wipe the smug smile off Ryan Fraser's face. Of course,
Yes,
if we get
yeah.
beat by them.
Well, we'll come on to Southampton
Painful.
in a obviously
Yeah,
get to their game.
just
I mean,
gone on a
Cardiff.
tangent there, haven't I? Really?
You were as well. I would never have. I'd have been disappointed had you not at some point during the show. You know?
It's what makes this show, isn't it?
It is. We have more tangents than a maths A-level exam. Cardiff are up to 4th in the form table, so they're suddenly finding a bit of a run as well, and they will still be harbouring hopes of a playoff place themselves. I mean, they're not out of it in 10th.
Yeah.
And then we get to the 3:00 kickoffs, and if you're wondering why Leicester aren't in the order they should be, it's because we don't discuss them until the end. At a tangent, I thought that was a short Craig answer.
Oh, thanks, Brad.
Okay, so Blackburn, Plymouth, two teams. I've got to say, fair play to Plymouth. They're sat in 17th. They're only on 41 points, so they're not out of it. And I thought that they would really struggle. I had them to go straight back down again, but I don't think they will. I think they've got enough to stay up. Blackburn in 18th, so they're one place behind. They sacked the manager who's now gone off to manage Sweden. One of the guys, along with the Ipswich manager that I wanted at Leicester before Enzo came in. Blackburn are in all sorts of trouble financially. They're not. The
chicken farmers money is running out, isn't it?
It is. It's a bit of a foul situation, but we go.
Do you know what? This is a real problem with some of these owners. And Venky's come in, and instantly got the club relegated, didn't they, from the Premier League? And then they got relegated again. Stability, but Blackburn.
Well, I used to work at Blackburn.
Did you?
I think I mentioned it to you, but yeah, not very long, about 6 months. But
he was up front with Shearer, wasn't he?
They decided that saving my few grand a week would stop them from going bust whilst we're still playing share. All these players millions of pounds. Bad. That's bad. But I remember when the Venky's came in that they'd been sold. Jack, the Jack Walker, the steel guy, had passed away, and his family had sold it on. They got rid of the guy that was chief executive, who was one of the best chief executives in football, and he'd been there for years. And of course, the fans weren't happy because they had Sam Allardyce as the manager. So they sacked Sam Allardyce because they thought, oh, well, that'll make us happy with the fans. He gave the job to his assistant, who immediately got them relegated. Yeah,
Steve Keane. To be honest, I feel sorry for Steve Keane, actually, because, he tried everything, but everything was up against him. The owners, was mess. The fans didn't really want him.
But it was. That's why I always quote that as the "be careful what you wish for" example.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a little bit like, what could have happened to Bournemouth. Had Iriola not got it together, everybody goes on about Gary O'Neill and Gary O'Neill's rubbish, PE teacher, clown, all that. I never bought into that. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes Gary's football wasn't very attractive. Sometimes there was naivety, as a manager who was just starting out. Wolves are reaping
they're looking possibly at Europe, aren't they?
Exactly. Exactly.
And you could have been if your current manager had got you to the FA Cup final, but these things aren't meant to be, are they?
Yeah.
Twice. I can get this. I'm seeing how many I can get in by the end of the show. Brad, keep count for me. I'm at 2 already. 2 already.
Oh dear, oh dear. But yeah, talking about Blackburn, it's a sorry state of affairs. I think personally, I've seen quite a lot of people predicting them to go down. So whether or not they're close to administration or what mess it is, I don't know. I think they'll be just about all right. But I
Well,
don't.
I've got to say that I actually got that one spot on because I did go for 1-1.
Yeah, I probably would have gone for that as well.
Yeah.
But it's
Obviously, like
easy to
I say,
say
we'll
it
come back
afterwards.
to Hull at the end. Millwall Birmingham. I got this one totally wrong because I went for a 2-2. Birmingham, I think it's just all about staying up for them this season. They're in
Well,
21st
stupid.
with 39 points. Millwall aren't a lot better off, to be honest with you. They're in 16th with 43 points. Again, I think Millwall will possibly be safe, although do us a favour, Millwall, and beat Leeds, please. Birmingham, how to ruin a club? No, let's get the Birmingham FC handbook out. Doing very well under John Eustace, as we discussed before we
Yeah.
came live. They decided that they wanted a name in, and
Bought
got
in.
Rooney. And the
Yeah,
rest, as they say.
bought in somebody who would have been very attracted to Mavis the other night. And yeah, Mr. Rooney didn't do particularly very well. And to be honest, I wasn't
Colleen's let
surprised by
herself go, hasn't she?
that. But fuck's sake.
Allegedly, I had to say allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
He's very
Oh,
litigious, is Colleen.
but yeah, personally, I think such a stupid move. The players were playing well under John
Yes,
Eustace, and
just
then
outside the playoffs, they were.
yeah, I think actually they were in them, weren't they, at one point? And then they thought, oh well, yeah, we'll go for this name of a manager that really hasn't done much. Got to be honest, Wayne Rooney hasn't done much, and yeah, they are now staring relegation in the face, and this is one of the sides that I think might end up getting relegated because of
Really?
that.
I mean, they're
Millwall,
fourth from bottom at the moment. They're only 1 point, but they've played. They have got a game in hand, in fairness, Birmingham.
yeah, but
They're
that's
playing,
no
I think they're
good.
playing midweek. In fact, they are. They're playing Middlesbrough midweek.
Yeah, I'd fully expect Middlesbrough to actually win that because they've still got Middlesbrough have got an outside shout at the playoffs. Birmingham, I just don't rate what they've done, since John Eustace, and
Yeah.
it really is a whole mantra of be careful what you wish for. Now,
Yeah.
Millwall on the other end, Millwall have been in and around the playoffs. I know that we played them last game of the season before we went up, and to be honest, that season they did very, very well under Gary Rowett. I think for them, they're in a little bit of a transition stage, but that is no fault of their own. I think Millwall have, unfortunately, John Berylson, who was an outstanding chairman for them, passed away. I believe it was late at the end of last season. Sorry, I should say. And I think this has been a bit of a difficult season for them, but they'll keep their head above water and they can build upon this and improve. And I think they will do. I think Millwall. Might not be a popular club for a lot of people, but I think, they are a very well run club.
They are. And they've got a nice ground as well, the new Den.
Yeah.
They're actually above. I mean, Millwall are actually 11th in the form table. They've not lost in 4, but it's consistency because the last 6 games, it's lost, 1, drew, 1. They're actually 1 place above Southampton in the form table. Birmingham are down in 16th. They've not won in 4. So, yeah, like you say, if Middlesbrough do the business, Birmingham are they are in doo-doo time. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
if they win 39, 41, 42, that would take them up to 17th above Plymouth and Blackburn. So it's a must-win, I think, for Birmingham. But unfortunately, I don't think they
I
will do.
can't I
No,
can't see it. I
no.
can't see it. And I think Birmingham, are a poor team. I think isn't it Mark Venus who's in charge there at the moment?
I don't know, to be
I
honest
think
with you.
he's
It's good.
I'm sure I was reading the other day it's Mark Venus, who was formerly of Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, I'm sure it was him. Of course, they are playing tomorrow night against Middlesbrough. I've just checked that. So, like you say, must win. There are other fixtures. The game against on Good Friday, they've got QPR. They've got to win that one.
Yeah, no, it is Mark Venus.
It is.
Yes. Well, to be honest with you, he's off this planet, isn't he? Him. Tony Mowbray. That was through illness, wasn't it? Because he's not well, Tony Mowbray.
Yes, yeah. I think Tony
Because he
Mowbray
was
would
a
have
good
got them going.
choice. He would have. I think he would have saved them, and eventually, I do like Tony Mowbray as the manager. He's
Yes,
never
I
going to
do.
necessarily win you anything, but he's a good, solid manager that will keep you up and keep you solvent.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, he did a fantastic job with Blackburn for a number of years.
He
And
did. No, he did.
I
Yes.
think, yeah, I think I think Birmingham are in real problems. Of
Yes.
course, they've
I
got
think so.
yourselves on the 6th of April. I think you'll
Mm,
beat them. They've got Preston at home. Preston, I think, are a very good side. Um, Cardiff, we've already spoken about Cardiff in the run. They've got
mm,
Coventry. Rotherham, they should beat. To be honest, their last 3 games, 2 of them are very winnable against Rotherham and Huddersfield, but
yeah.
both of those are away. Huddersfield, if they've got a shout of staying up, they could be fighting in that.
Mm.
Um,
And if Rotherham are down by then they'll be playing with no, just go out to enjoy yourselves. And it's amazing. I can
yeah,
remember when we got relegated the last season at Filbert Street. We played Tottenham in the last game and we went and beat them because there was no pressure on us. We were down,
yeah,
And talking of Rotherham, and here's where Brad picks up 3 points. I went
yeah.
2-0. Brad, talk about being a lucky bastard. He went 5-0 jokingly. It was 4-0 at half time, and then Norwich only went and scored 1 goal in the second half. I was willing them to get a second one or Rotherham to at least get one, but we'll talk about Norwich in a second. Rotherham, it's good night Vienna. They've gone, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was reading something the other day, and I can't remember who it was, but they said one of the worst teams to play at that level, at the championship level, and it's hard to really disagree with, the statistics that they've got. They've conceded 77 goals for God's sake.
Yes.
They've only scored 30, minus 47. Um,
That's like
when you
losing an extra point, isn't it?
well, effectively they've only got 5 more points than Burnley and Sheffield United, and that really, I know it's different leagues, but of course they've already played 37 games. It's very poor. Last
And like you
5,
say, you'd expect any team to beat Sheffield United, wouldn't you?
well, thanks, thanks.
Yes, but
I walked
not the
straight
team that
into
can be.
that one, didn't I?
You did. You walked straight into that one, and I tell you what, as well, it's not. It's not like a team that can beat a lower league team in the FA Cup either.
No, exactly,
Yeah, Bournemouth 1, Leicester. Bournemouth
exactly.
0, Leicester 1. Sorry. Anyway,
Um,
let me. I digress. I go off on a tangent.
Bloody hell, I'm not doing this next week. I'll just get the piss ripped out of me. I'm joking. But yeah, Rotherham aren't particularly very good. I
They've
think,
won 3
well,
games all season.
I know. I'd love to know which 3 games those were. Probably
I
Sheffield
think they beat
Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday was one
Yeah,
of them.
I was going to
But
say.
I mean, Sheffield Wednesday won 11. But what Rotherham have done is that they've drawn more. They've drawn 10. But I mean, to win 3 games, that is relegation form, isn't it?
It
They
must
are
be
they are
fucking
going
depressing
down.
for them. They're poor fans. It must be depressing for them.
Hmm.
They beat Middlesbrough, believe it or not.
Ooh.
So yeah, they beat Middlesbrough. Um, Middlesbrough must have been having a bit of Michael Carrick must have, been on the piss with them all.
I
But
mean, they only
yeah,
just stayed up last season, didn't they?
they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they did. They beat Coventry as well. There we are, Coventry fans. That's one for you. That was back
Who
in
are you?
October.
Who are you?
Um, and I'm just trying to find the other one. Beat Norwich as well. They haven't beaten Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh, they're
So
not. Oh, I thought they had.
no,
Oh, thought it was
no.
one of the
So
the early games. Now Norwich, looking at the other team, I thought they're going to do better than this. I mean, all right, yes, they are in 6th, but and I'm not just saying this, but I think the top 4 will be the top 4. I think everybody else is playing for 5th and 6th,
yeah,
and 5th is probably going to be West Brom, but they're not miles ahead. But you got West Brom, Norwich, 5th and 6th, and you got Hull, Coventry, Preston, Cardiff, Middlesbrough, possibly. So down to 10th, any of those teams could finish in the top 2. Norwich, and if you look at their last 5 games, it's 1 lost, 1 drawn, 1. They've
they're
not been
inconsistent.
consistent this year, have they?
No, they're inconsistent. And they've kind of lost the yo-yo team tag, haven't they now?
Hmm.
Um, will they get a 6th spot? I don't think they will. Um, I don't think they will. Um, I think they'll just about miss out. Um, but don't get me wrong. Norwich on the
Weird
good day,
division this, and everybody's
it's
beating everybody.
strange, isn't it? To be honest, I could probably say something now, and it can be completely, the opposite of what I've actually said. Probably is going to. So beware, Leicester fans, because I've predicted you to go up, so, as champions still. You know, you can't fuck that up, can you, Chris?
Yes, we can. We're Leicester. But well done. I mean, 5-0.
Yeah.
Well done to Brad. 3 points. Spawny eyed Wazzock that he is. Hi, Brad. How you doing,
Hello,
mate?
Brad. How you doing,
Hello,
mate?
Brad.
Good to see you.
Right. Then we come to the aforementioned Preston.
They're weird.
Um,
Such a weird team.
it
You
is
know,
I like Preston because when I lived
I
in
fucking
Burnley for
don't.
all
Do you
those
know why I
years,
don't like them? I'll tell you
well,
why I don't
I
like them.
used to
They always
like
beat
going
us.
along because I've got 4 kids, and
Hmm.
they used to class the Leicester game as a family game, which meant it was kids for £1. And so it was very cheap for me to take all 4 kids to the game. And they had the museum there as well, which was free to go
Yes.
into before it moved to Manchester. But they've got into the playoffs and lost in the playoffs. They've just missed out on the playoffs. I mean, when we played them first earlier in the season, they were actually top of the league.
They're such a
Again,
weird side.
yeah, up and down. Played obviously 36. They got a game in hand. Won 15, lost 13. Now that kind of sums the season up.
I'm trying to think. Was it this season or last season where they kind of they went through such a long period of time where they didn't draw a single game. I think it was last season. They just either won or got beat.
Hmm.
Um, I'm sure there was that sort of scenario. Or what did they just keep drawing? I can't remember. It was something really odd about them. And one the only thing that is guaranteed is when they turn up and play us that they beat us every single fucking time. Preston, they're just a bogey side for us. But they're coming back to the championship. I can't see them doing anything. Again, they're too inconsistent. Um, you know, it would be great for the Premier League to have Preston in there, but at the same time, I can't see it because they're up and down like a yo-yo. You know,
They're
if they can
just
find some consistency,
they're
they
just
might be all
not. They always sort of get so close they can touch it.
right.
Oh my God! It's 3-2. Chelsea 3, Newcastle 2. Wow, that's an interesting game. And then
Yes.
obviously we got Brad's favourite team other than Leicester, which is Stoke City. And I can remember doing the preview before we played them, and we beat them 5-1. And I
You are
remember
taking
saying
a piss out of Brad when you say his other favourite team.
he hates them. Yeah, he
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
hates them.
honestly,
Yeah, yeah.
is there anybody that likes Stoke? They're the most
Well,
boring, miserable side. And
I mean, they were a mainstay of the Premier League for a long time with
yeah,
Mark
and
Hughes
bored
and what have
everybody to
you.
tears.
But before we played Stoke, I was talking to them and I said, like, you're not going to go down because there's three
Yeah.
worse teams than you. And we played them. We put 5 past them, and they said, will you do something for our review show? And I went, you sure? After we've just put 5 past you, you sure you want me to quote to come on and say something on your channel? He said, you can't be saying anything any worse than the Stoke fans are. And I said, do you remember when I said there was 3 worse teams than you and you'd stay up? He said, yeah. I said, I lied. There's only one worse team than you, having just watched you in that performance. You're going down. And he played it. Fair play to him. But it was like I said, they were saying a lot worse. 41 points. They're still in that relegation battle. But they do seem to have they've won 2 of the last 5, Stoke. Again, it's inconsistency. Hi, Doug.
Hello, Doug. You all right? Yeah, I think Stoke will just get across the line
Yes.
to everybody's displeasure. But are they particularly a very good side? No. They're probably going to be down there fighting it next season again. But yeah, they need a big, big shake up in the summer. Just before we move on, actually, I'll tell you what, one funny story as well. You know where you say about the Stoke
Does it
fan?
involve a dog?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't,
Okay,
this
then.
one.
Oh.
It involves Everton. So make of that what you will. But
You saying Everton women are dogs? Oh, that's not very nice.
Oh dear.
He's up the cherries in all departments. Something to do with Leicester till I die. Can I just make that clear?
I'm upsetting everybody tonight. But let's talk about Everton, because what they turned round, an Everton channel turned around and said, look, we really want you to do a prediction for the season. I said, yeah, I'll do that. They said, yeah, we'll play it and everything. I said, right, okay. I was looking at it and I thought, Everton are just shy. Everton is shy. So I turned round and said what I thought. Believe it or not, I did put them below Sheffield United and Burnley at this point. And did they play it? No. No, it went missing. And I said, oh, did you get the video okay? Silence. So, yeah, they weren't particularly happy with me following that.
No.
Following my preview, let's say.
Yeah. Stephen Schumacher's vision is under threat at Stoke, says
Yeah,
Doug.
I think so.
I think so.
To be honest,
I mean, the grass isn't. I understand him going because, no disrespect to Plymouth, Stoke are the bigger team. So, whether they fall into that sleeping giant thing or not, I don't know. But look, people say, well, why did the manager do this? Why did the guy leave Brighton and go to Chelsea? Managers look at this like when you get offered a job, when you at work and you're offered another job and you're thinking, oh, I'm happy where I am, but it's more money. And if I turn them down, I may never get that chance again. So you do have to go for it. So I understand it, but it is the way of the world and the way of the football.
It's
But
like players as well, because you look at Kelvin Phillips, and to be honest, it's quite sad what's happened to him. If he had stayed at Leeds, why anybody would want to stay at Leeds, I don't know. Hello, Leeds fans. They're all here with us again. I don't know, but he went to Manchester City because he thought he could do it. And to be honest, he's just become a shadow of himself. And what West Ham have got is somebody who is just devoid of any confidence, can't seem to control a ball,
Mm,
and is just damn right poor. Just damn
yeah.
right poor. So yeah, I think the grass isn't always greener, and
No.
sometimes you've got to look back at it and think, right,
Jamie
I'm on to
Vardy
something good.
could have gone to Arsenal, didn't, you know,
Well, exactly,
and won
exactly,
the,
and he
Won
lived
the
out the
Premier League with us. So
yeah,
there you go.
lived out the dream at Leicester.
He did. He did. Right. Next up, it is QPR versus Middlesbrough. Now, I actually, you call me silly. Can I just say I got a point for the Norwich game because I did predict them
Yeah.
to win. I actually went Preston 2, Stoke. QPR 2, Middlesbrough 1.
I don't think that's a silly prediction because
I didn't
QPR
think
have
it
been
was,
good.
to be honest with you, because QPR, they are actually 10th in the form table at the moment.
I
You
bloody
know,
hope they
yes,
stay
they
up.
lost that, but before that, they'd beaten us. They'd
Mm.
beaten us 2-1. They drew with West Brom. Right, they beat Rotherham. You'd expect them to do that. They beat Bristol. So, you know, they had lost to Stoke. But again, they've got a new manager in. They are giving it one hell of a fight in an attempt to stay up.
Yeah, and I think they are. I think they will do. I think they will do. I can't pronounce their manager's name, but Marty,
Oh,
let's call him Marty.
oh,
You
have
know,
a go.
oh, I
Just so I
can't.
can clip it and put it up as a laugh.
Hang on, let me bring up his name so I can say it. Marty QPR. Hang on, Marty CF. Uh, Marty CF. Oh, hang on. Shall I say his full name? Marty Cienfuentes Carvalho. No, Marty Cienfuentes Corvillo. I'll just ask Mark House. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
He's got it spot on, Mark has. But I like QPR. I want them to stay up.
Yes, I do. I
They
don't
will
know
stay.
why, but I've got a soft spot for them as well.
Yeah. I like QPR. I hope they stay up. Loftus Road, even though it does feel like when you have you been to Loftus Road before?
I've never been. No, never
No.
been.
If you imagine when you sat down there, um, your legs are completely and utterly crushed. Your legs might as well be behind you. That atmosphere in that stadium is brilliant. Um, so yeah, very very tightly compacted stadium, but you know, it's just an old school ground that is just amazing and just a joy to watch football at. And
Mm.
we're getting less and less of those old school football stadiums.
Yes, yeah,
So yeah, a trip to QPR is always quite a nice one.
yeah. But they are making a good fist of it.
Yeah, they are.
Up until then, Middlesbrough. I mean, they had a great run last season under. Oh God, what's he called?
Carrick. Michael
Carrick. Yeah,
Carrick.
thank
Yeah,
you.
Michael Carrick.
Some Leicester fans were calling on him to come to Leicester. They then sold the best striker, the best player, who was a striker, and the goals dried up. And they've had a very up and down season. You know, when I show that, look at their season form, it looks like a heart, you know, one of those heart things where it's up and down like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't think this was the wildest of predictions.
Yeah.
But I mean, they only just stayed up last time. They are now in 20th, so they're two clear of the bottom three. Although
Yeah.
having said that, only 1 point. But I fancy QPR and Stoke. Well, I fancy QPR to stay up, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sheffield Wednesday don't turn it round as well.
Yeah, I think QPR will stay up.
Yeah,
They put
yeah.
themselves in a good position. They've got Steve Cook. They got Asmir. Yeah, they'll be fine.
Yes, they have.
They'll be fine. I like QPR. Should they be in this position? To be honest, I think they've been financially mismanaged, but I think they'll be okay. Just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about. I
Well, of
know
course,
which two
we
I'm
do say
going down.
RIP to Stan Bowles.
Yes.
I know it's been a few weeks now, but it was as that this game was their first home game. The original entertainer, in fairness to him. So coming up next, if I am not mistaken, what a game this was. Southampton against Sunderland. Oh, I went for a 2-0 win to Saints, so I'd got that bit right. But Southampton, they were on a flyer, weren't they? Let's be honest with you. They were 26 games or whatever it was unbeaten. And it's
they were.
Ooh. And then it kind of, the wheels came off the wagon.
I think they were never going to keep that up. But, they've really turned it around. And of course, we are helping them out here. I don't know if you're aware, but we are helping them out. It was 2-2 until Joe Rothwell, who is, of course, is a Bournemouth player, then, scored 2 goals. 2 goals right at the end. I think it was in the space of about 4 or 5 minutes, but it was Southampton are looking good. I think they're going to have to settle for the playoffs. I don't think they'll get automatics now, but can they get through the playoffs? Yeah, most definitely. And would I like to see them back in the Premier League? Yeah, definitely. At the end of the day, like I say, we'd rather Southampton be in the Premier League so we can get an easy 6 points off them. And, we've got a little bit of a local rivalry there.
It's like that with Forest. I mean, when Forest came back up, and I know they stayed up and we went down, which hurt, but, it was, I've always what I like about this division is, to me, our main rivals are Coventry, simply because they're the closest team, and that's what makes, your derby games. But, we hadn't had a proper East Midlands derby in the Premier League since we'd been in it, and it was nice to have Forest back. We won a couple, they won a couple, and but it is nice to have that a rivalry. Southampton 12th in the form table, lost, won, lost, won. It's like a dance, isn't it? Lost, won, lost, won. Sunderland, they haven't won in 6. Lost to Huddersfield, lost to Birmingham, lost to Swansea, lost to Norwich, lost to ourselves. In fairness, it was 1-0, 2-1, 2-1, 1-0, 1-0. And then, of course, they had this Southampton. They pressed the self-destruct button with the managers as well, haven't they?
Yeah, I think Sunderland's, wow. To be honest, if they keep that form up into next season, they're going to be in real trouble because look, they're matching Rotherham at the moment. I think ridiculous set of scenarios there. Wasn't Michael Beale arguing with fan base, the fan base or something on Twitter? He had like a what are they? What do they call them? What do they call them? He had like a bloody Mickey Mouse's account, didn't he? Where he was just chatting and
no, this is all news to me.
There was all sorts of weird stuff going on there. Sunderland, they're out of it. And like you say, they've completely pressed the self-destruct button because they looked like they were in quite a good position at one point. But another season in the Championship for them.
It's finished at Chelsea. It's finished Chelsea 3, Newcastle 2. That moves Chelsea. No, it doesn't. It keeps Chelsea in the bottom half, in 11th. But I don't know that it's a good thing that we've won or not. They've won, I mean, because they've obviously be playing us up next in the cup. Luton Town. I like Luton. Can you do me a favour? Can you let them win? You play them, because that would put Forest into the bottom 3.
I have made a prediction about Wednesday night.
Is it at yours or is it at?
It is at ours. But if you watch Luton, they're full of fight. Have they got the quality? Probably not. No. But they've got enough fight, which I don't think Forest and Everton do. I'm going to upset you now, though, Chris, because I think Luton will stay up, but I think Forest will scrape it as well.
Yeah.
I think the side, and this is purely from watching Everton, they were playing Crystal Palace, and honestly, Dominic Calvert-Lewin couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo. To be honest, what's the word? Beach ball, barn with a beach ball.
But
Whatever.
no, banjo, a barn door with a banjo.
Barn door with a banjo. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, to be honest, I don't know why there is such a rave about him, because I thought, you know, he's shit, put nicely. Um, you know, I would be very, very disappointed if, Dominic Calvert-Lewin was a Bournemouth player. I'd be very, very worried. And I just don't see much quality across the rest of the Everton side. I
No.
just don't. Just don't. The only thing Everton have got in their favour is they've got a bloody good goalkeeper. But he does play better for England than he does for Everton.
And I just say it is a sellout, but that probably means that we still won't hear your fans sing. Four,
Bloody hell!
got you all in there.
No, honestly, to be honest, we were.
I mean,
quiet that day.
the right side, which was down the side of the pitch, the Leicester fans were singing to the left side, which was behind the goal, and we were singing back to them just to try and create a bit of atmosphere, in the garden shed. But there we go. Anyway, next 5. But oh God, why do you think I asked you on? Watford, who have parted company with their manager. Shock, horror. Losing
shock, horror.
Coventry.
Shock, horror. Why did it take them so long?
Well,
they should have been on their third manager by this time, unless they're skint and running out of money.
I actually thought that they looked at it and went, maybe we need a bit of stability here. I don't think they have, though.
No, they. Well, I just think maybe the Pozzo family are losing faith with it, which doesn't bode very well for Watford fans. But yeah, it's just a comedy of errors all the time. To be honest, the fans are now turning on the owners big time. And I'm not surprised, because Watford have still got a decent side. Just Valérien Ismaël did well for Barnsley. Now the problem was there was a lot of egos when he went to Watford, and it just hasn't worked. Hasn't worked. To be honest, the last couple of managerial appointments hasn't worked for them. And I'm not surprised by this. Coventry seem to be doing their Coventry thing of rising at just the right time. And honestly, I think, they're probably the side who are most likely to get into those playoff places again. I honestly do. I know you're going to hate me for saying that, but, I think Cardiff are a little bit too far back. I think Cardiff will give it a go if there's a slip up, but I think Coventry will be the most likely side to sneak into those playoff places. And then it'll be interesting what happens, because, of course, it'll be Coventry versus Leeds United in the playoffs.
In fairness, I actually had Coventry to finish in the playoffs, and
I think
of course they got that far, didn't they? Last season, and they fell at the last hurdle to Luton Town, obviously. But I mean, at the moment, they are. Let's just have a look where they can close that one now. I mean, Coventry at the moment, again, they're probably still celebrating beating us, because, that to them was their FA Cup final. I know Leeds are still on their open top bus. I think Coventry might have put their open top bus away by now. But they're in 8th. They're 57 points. So they're only 1 point off Norwich in, third, with 58 in 6th place. And I wouldn't be against Coventry coming up because again, it will give us a derby in the Premier
Yeah,
League.
yeah, exactly. I think.
Watford, they're just mid-table, nothing again this season, aren't they?
Well, you look at Watford. You know, to be honest, the alarming rate they're dropping. They could easily get sucked into it if one of the other teams gets to about 50-point mark.
Yeah.
Do I think they will go down? I think like Swansea, they're very much like Swansea. I think they'll just keep themselves above water. Swansea. Um, I, how many times have I said Swansea are a really, really good side? Going forwards, but the defence is just non-existent.
Well,
Um,
we'll come on to Swansea because we've got their
yes,
game
sorry, I
in,
was
in a second.
going
I was
off on
trying
a
to work out, well,
tangent.
did you
What a
mean Watford or
surprise!
were you actually talking about Swansea then?
No, well, Watford. I just think,
21st in the form
yeah,
table, Watford. Yeah.
I
Won
just
one
don't
in
think they're
5.
very good.
The only
You could
game, the
get
only
dragged
team they've
into it.
beaten in the last 6 games, is Rotherham. That was only 1-0.
Well, that's a bloody surprise.
Yeah.
Everybody beats Rotherham.
Really, they were both Plymouth, Sunderland, and Rotherham themselves, Watford. So I love what Doug said there. 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Watford not having one manager a season.
Oh dear, yeah. I
That
tell
is
you
a
what,
classic. That is a
I'm
classic.
shocked. I'm shocked that they haven't had 2 managers. I
No, but
think,
do you not think at some point, and I think I was told once, it might have been by Rob Tanner from the Athletic, that it's the Italian way of doing things. They do change managers like we change underwear.
yeah, but it doesn't
Um,
work it doesn't work in this country, Chris.
no,
It doesn't
no,
work.
no.
It's just stupid. It really is stupid. Sometimes they've sacked managers when they've been in a decent position just because
Yes,
they've lost a couple of games. And I think
yeah.
that is, you know, I think they're getting what they probably, you know, deserve now.
I feel
Unfortunately,
sorry for the fans, to be honest with you.
yeah, the fan base. Um, they're a good bunch of fans, even though some Bournemouth fans won't like them. But yeah, I think Watford. Yeah, it's a real shame. It's a real shame. I've
Mm.
got a really good friend who's a Watford fan, and
Hang on, sorry. The shocking thing there, you've got a friend.
yeah, I've got a friend
Yeah.
who's a Watford fan. Yeah, I've got
Wow.
loads of friends who I've got loads of them. I've
That
got
took a while to resonate then, didn't it?
yeah, I've got yeah.
I jest. Now, another team that is finding itself very much in trouble. They've been slipping down like a bout of diarrhea in your jeans. Is Huddersfield Town? There's
Oh,
a thought for you.
what they would
Um,
do for Andy Booth at the moment. I
yeah,
tell you what,
20.
Andy Booth.
It's hard to think that they were not long ago in the Premier League, but they're 22nd. Um, they've got, I mean, they're not out of it because, like I say, 23rd upwards, there's only one of about 6 or 7 teams. They're on 38 points, only one behind Birmingham, even though Birmingham got a point in hand, but then QPR have only got 39. But they've won Huddersfield the second amount of games, the least amount of games. Rotherham 3, that's all they've won. Huddersfield have only won 8. West
Yeah,
Brom looking to secure that playoff place in 5th at the moment. They're trying to make it their own. They're 5 points above 6, so they've got a little bit of a gap there. Absolutely demolished them.
yeah, Huddersfield. Well, they would have been relegated last season had it not been for Reading and De Jongs.
Yeah.
And got to say, if anybody does follow that story, there's a very, very good interview on the Cherries in All Departments with a guy called Mike Gow. And if you want an example how not to run a football club and how to run a basket case, all you have to do is look at the Reading situation because it's diabolical. But I
Mm.
digress. Huddersfield have been very, very poor, and I can't see a way out of it for them. I think they will. I think they'll go down this season. I honestly
Mm.
do. It's a shame because they're a good club, and good group of fans. I've spoken to Andy Booth on a number of occasions, and one of the nicest men that you could actually meet. Um, you know, and yeah, I feel sorry for them, but again, I don't feel that it's been managed particularly very well there. Um, West Brom, West Brom, Carlos Corberan, what a fantastic job he has done. He's outstanding
I
manager.
believe. Are you two not friends on Twitter?
We are friends, actually, me and
Right.
Carlos.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Carlos. We get on very, very well.
Can I just say, guys, I knew that. I was just playing into his hands there.
But
We are
yeah,
not. We are not worthy, sir. We are not worthy.
so yeah,
But yeah. I mean, I think West Brom are going to be in the playoffs. You can't be 100% sure with this league, but I
yeah,
think they are.
yeah.
And Huddersfield, they are in danger. They're in that relegation battle now, and don't they
Yeah.
know it? Last
Oh,
but one game,
just want to
another
actually
team.
reply to somebody as well. I've just seen HT Ches.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's the one that I was on about
yes.
before. I've
I
just sent it to
recognise
you.
this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and yeah, this guy is a bit of a clown, to be honest, on our fan base. Are you the Reading fan? He said.
Mm.
Um, I was born and bred in Reading. There is I do not give a toss what you think, if you're still watching this show. Um, you're probably not because you've had to go to bed for school tomorrow. But, honestly, it's just pathetic. It really is pathetic.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hope you have a good day at school tomorrow, HT Ches.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that you couldn't see earlier. So whether
Yeah, I
he's
couldn't say.
yeah,
To be honest, I was expecting something even worse. To be honest, but
yeah.
yeah, are you a Reading
Anyway,
fan? Are you a Reading fan? I could not give two
yeah.
monkeys, to be honest.
Honestly, well, it gives him something to do. He's probably in his
Ex-
mum's basement playing with himself.
yes.
Anyway, Bristol City, one of those teams that they either well, again, inconsistent. I mean, they haven't won. This is the first one that they've won in 5. They'd lost the previous 4. They're in 18th in the they beat they actually see this is the thing, they beat Southampton
Yeah.
3-1. Then they lost to Queen's Park Rangers and Sheffield Wednesday. Then Cardiff, then Ipswich. They gave Ipswich a good run for the money, but Ipswich did manage to sort of beat them. Surprise, surprise. Swansea, so they're just like, again, they sacked Nigel Pearson. I think that was a mistake. I don't think they've really recovered from that. But Swansea, now and I know, we both had Chicken Head on our
Yeah.
channel. He is absolutely, he's,
Oh,
if
he's
anybody
brilliant.
ever watched it, it was from the call centre on BBC 3. Is available on iPlayer, on YouTube. Sorry, he's a big Swansea fan, and he absolutely he was not impressed. In fact, he even predicted Leicester to beat Swansea. And he messaged me after the game because he'd got the prediction right. And he messaged me and said, "Told you I got my prediction right." It was his team losing. They're 18th, but they have won 2 of the last 5, the same as Bristol City. Mid-table mediocrity for both of these teams, isn't it?
Yeah, to be honest, is there a more championship game than this? Bristol City, don't seem to be able to get out of this division. Looked like they were, pushing earlier on in the season. In fact, I was quite keen to see them, carry on pushing. I'd like to see Bristol City go up, to be honest, at some
I
point.
do. You see, I still don't think of Leicester as a big team, and
Well, you are a
obviously
big team.
We're not.
Well, compared to us, anybody's a big fucking
Well, yeah,
team.
but you see, I don't. I'm not being funny here, but I don't consider Bournemouth a big team.
No, completely agree.
I don't consider Norwich a big team. We sort of fall into this category of mid-table teams, but I like to see teams like us. I was so happy when Bournemouth came up, and you should have been the story of that season. Had we not gone on and won the Premier League, we might have done. But then again, we always seem to sort of ruin your fun, don't we? Like beating you 1-0 in the FA Cup. Hey, 6.
I think Bristol City, they're just.
But it would be great to see them up there, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would be. Again, I think for this division, they're probably a middle of the road side. It's all relative. When you look at Leeds United, best team in the Championship, no, switch in the end. But they're all going to pile on. Here we go. But yeah, I think it's all relative. You look at Bristol City, middle of the road. I think Leicester are a big club in the Championship.
Well, that's very kind of you. I don't think of us as a big club, but
it's like if you look at the League One, you look at Reading. Now they're a big club, in the League One. Bolton
overall,
Wanderers,
in the great
big
scheme of things, yes, the big in the leagues they were.
Yeah,
like when Leeds were in League One and we were in League One.
But you stick both of those teams in the Championship; they're both middle of the road size clubs.
I've got to say to Arthur as well, Leeds United actually, at the moment, aren't the best team in the Championship, because if you were, you'd be top. Now you're not, you're second, so you're not the best team in the Championship. If you want to say you're the best team over the last 6 games, because you're top of that particular performance chart, that's fair point. But you might be the best team in the Championship this time next week, because you may well have beaten Millwall and go above us, because we're still in the FA Cup. We're playing the team that you couldn't beat, as in Chelsea. But look, like I say, Leicester City living rent-free in Leeds United fans' heads.
Chris,
but there we go.
Chris,
Finally, the last game.
Just before we move off Leeds, does that mean that Histon, back in whatever year it was, because Leeds are irrelevant, they must have been, the biggest team in the first round of the FA Cup, weren't they, that season? Because who did they beat? Oh, hang on, Leeds United.
I'm going to bow down to your superior knowledge on that one.
I don't even know where Histon is. Leeds fans, if you're watching, can you tell me where Histon is, please?
This is. I like Leeds. I'm just having a bit of banter. Anyway, Hull 2, Leicester City 2. If anybody follows the football on the BBC website, if you get over to bbc.co.uk/LCFC and read today's fan voice, it's all about. I'll have a pint of whatever Jamie Vardy's on, please. But I think that's probably vodka and Red Bull, so I'm not sure whether I can. The guy doesn't train all week, Craig, and comes on and starts and plays 86 minutes and scores 2 goals. You cannot write this guy off, can you?
No. And I tell you what, one side you can't write off whenever you play them is Hull.
Yes.
Rossinia has got them playing some really good stuff. I didn't realise the chap that was at Fulham, Carvalho, he's actually there. So, Hull are a dangerous side. Did I see them getting a point against yourselves? No, I thought you'd scrape it, but it just feels like, and maybe this is what Enzo needs to turn this into now, is that it is a race to the finish, because that lead has just been whittled down. We had talks, a couple of weeks back, that Leicester were going to get the points record. Now, one more defeat, and the best you can do is equal it. And to be honest, you were, you know, on absolute fire, a couple of weeks back. It just seems to have, it seems to be stumbling across the line. I think you'll get across the line. I think you'll win the league, but don't you want to win it in style? And, you've got it in you to win these last eight.
We talk about this all the time, and I've got to say, I've got to give credit to Hull. They played very, very well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They missed the referee, and I'm not going to say that we didn't win because the referee was crap, because the referee was crap, but he was just as crap for Hull as he was for us. He was absolutely awful all round. He wasn't giving Hull any decisions, and he wasn't giving us decisions. It was a completely, God knows how he got his badges. So fair play to Hull. They were the first team to beat us this season. But like I said before, we've had to come on to a bad patch at some point. I was saying it for like, when are we going to hit our bad patch? And what we've got to realise is when we were winning and we're going on that long run of winning games, it was 1-0, it was 2-1. Apart from Southampton, that we beat 4-1, and Stoke, we beat 5-1, there were always close games and we were holding on. So we were never Brazil, if you like. Do you know what I mean? Although, we seem to have all these passes, but it's the way we play. Half of our passes are the goalkeeper to the defence, back to the goalkeeper, back to the defence.
I'm going to give you some
earlier. We did a debate show earlier, and it is all about finish second in this league. If Leeds United go and win the league, well done, Leeds. Congratulations to you. You get a cup. You get a cup. We still come up with you if we finish second. It's all about finish second. Anything you want to win it, Chris, is a bonus.
You want to win it. You don't want to give it to Leeds, and I honestly don't think you will. I think what you need from these last 9 games is 6 wins. Now, just looking at the fixtures, Bristol City away should beat them. That should be fine. So that's 1. Norwich, potentially at home, that's 2. Birmingham, definitely 3. Millwall away, 4. Plymouth, 5. West Brom might be difficult. Southampton might be difficult. And then you've got Preston and Blackburn. And I think, honestly, 6 wins, and I think you'll beat Blackburn. That's it. Job done. Champions. I think you'll be fine.
I want to win the league because we've won the second tier equal top with Manchester City. If we can do that, Manchester City will never be this low again. So we'll hold that record probably for quite a number of years.
I could see Leeds winning 6 games, but of course they are 3 points behind at the moment. So I could see them winning 6 games. I could see Ipswich winning 6 games. Can I see them winning 7? I don't think so. I think, if they do, that would be, a miraculous turnaround, but I can't see it. I honestly think Leeds will stumble. I think Leeds will stumble. And, you got to think that they've got a lot of teams that are going to be fighting for their lives as well, Leeds. And of course, Southampton, last game of the season. Who's to say Southampton won't be in it? So, honestly, I think it'll be Leicester and Ipswich, and then I think it'll be Leeds versus Coventry, and then Southampton versus West Brom. Who goes up from that?
Lottery, really, isn't it?
It is. I'm gonna stay with my man Carlos. Carlos will take West Brom.
Your mate.
Up.
Your
my
mate
Carlos. Yes, I'd like to see West Brom go.
I could put there.
Carlos.
We've got a Leeds fan or a couple of Leeds fans in, so I'm just, we are living rent free in their heads at the moment. So, welcome along, guys. Thanks very much. You come in, and you really do help my analytics with YouTube. So keep it
I'm
up,
only-
keep popping in.
Do you know what? I'm only pulling the legs of the Leeds fans because actually I've turned around before and I've said, I do, I do like the Leeds fans. We have a lot of banter.
I have nothing against
yeah.
Leeds fans, in all
They're a
honesty.
good bunch, really.
It's like every club has its fans that are wankers, and Leeds are probably slightly more than most.
Oh, look at
But,
our fans.
you
Look
know,
at some of our fans.
It's those fans that, I mean, why if you as a Leeds fan, why are you so interested in coming on a Leicester fan channel? I really don't get it. Especially as I'm saying here that I think it'll be Leeds and Leicester that go up. So I'm not dissing Leeds at all. I still think you had an open top bus coach because you did the double over, but fair play to you. If you had a decent club that could control its players and sort managers out at the start of the season, you'd have probably been ahead of us now by quite a few points. But look, it is what it is. What I like about Leeds fans, what I like about Leeds fans is when Leeds fans got back into the Premier League, there was no big I am. This is where we should be. We deserve to be here. They came up and went, Christ, it's nice to be back. And I like that about the Leeds fans. When the Forest fans came up, it's like, well, this is where we should be. We're Nottingham Forest. We've won the European Cup. We should be in the Premier League. And that's why I don't like many Nottingham Forest fans, and I do prefer Leeds fans.
Do you know what? I get on very well with the Square Ball, which is, as anybody knows, the leading Leeds United podcast. And do you know what? I'd love to see them come up just to, for Dan and the team there. I do just generally like their fan base.
I get on well with Carl, and
laugh.
he's doing the prediction league on Fridays.
I like taking the piss out of them. And to be fair, I did come out with earlier on in the season, the Jesse Marsh idea. And I got absolutely torn a new one from Leeds fans for that. But it's all good fun and games. It's all good fun and games. But breaking news here. The Princess of Wales has been pictured leaving Windsor alongside Prince William following following controversy over a Mother's Day photograph Kate admitted to editing. Who gives a
Now, I know we say about going off on tangents here, but that tangent isn't even a tangent. That's a U-turn because it's nothing to do with football whatsoever. But on that note, we will end the show, I think, before you start taking us down the whole history of King Charles's operations. Craig, mate, thank you very much. And in as few words as possible, tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on Up the Cherries in all departments, UTC IAD, AFCB on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So all your socials. You can even listen to our podcast as well, which you can hear on Spotify and all the good places you can get stuff to listen to into your ears. That's making.
Now,
I'll leave that to Alan Partridge.
I wasn't going to mention any more, but I love this from Leeds fans. I'm just wipe me tears away. Leeds were starting from a low base this season. A new manager, new owners, 11 players, exciting new players coming in. Okay, Leicester were starting from a low base this season. A new manager. All right, not new owners, I grant you. We got rid of 20 odd players and only brought in about 13. So don't give me that shit that you all want us to. You were no worse than we were, Michael. Stop talking shit and go and play with yourself in your back room. Honestly.
I love it.
No, but
I love it.
It's like, oh, woe is me. I'm a Leeds fan. We were starting from a low point, weren't we? Fucking all. We had a new manager coming in. Don't give me that bollocks, Michael. God almighty. Honestly, this is what gets me. And you get the decent fans don't bother coming on other people's channels. It's only the sad ones that haven't got a life that want to come on and be on other people's channels. Maybe he doesn't like the Leeds channels. I don't know. Maybe he is secretly a Leicester City fan, but who knows? Craig, thanks very much, mate. I'll see you next
pleasure
week. We'll get
always,
a date arranged and hopefully keep you off the royal stories between now and then.
Yes, yeah, definitely, mate, definitely, and hopefully Mavis won't be in there this time.
No, indeed.
Yeah.
Speak to you soon, buddy. All the
I'll
best.
speak to you soon. Take care,
Take
mate.
care. Bye-bye. Thanks very much to Craig there. Well, that was totally, like I say, there's going off at a tangent and there's doing a U-turn. And I don't know where that story came from. I think it said breaking news that Watford had appointed a manager or something. I think he's been drinking. That's what it is. Two pints and he's under the table, I'll tell you. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. We are going to be back on Thursday at a later time of 8:30, where we will be doing a preview. Again, Leeds fans, we'll be doing a preview of the FA Cup quarter-final, because we're there, you're not, because we beat Bournemouth and getting there 7. I'm going to keep it in single figures for him, bless him. 8:30. No, it wasn't 2-0, mate. It was only 1-0. That one, 1-0. I love a bit of banter. And look, good luck to all the Leeds fans as well, mate. Yeah, I think whoever finishes above Leeds will go up. We'll see you on Thursday, 8:30. Thank you very much. If you have been listening via your favourite podcast platform, really do appreciate it. And if you've been watching on YouTube, do remember to like the video, share the video, and please do subscribe. But until that time, it's good night from me, and it's good night from him. Good night.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
The TalkSport Fan Network is the ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts,
including Leicester Till I Die, independent analysis and reaction for the Foxes faithful.
The TalkSport Fan Network.
Unbeatable club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Follow the podcast on the TalkSport Fan Network.